You may be familiar with the famous story of the Kibshan Ha'esh, the furnace into which Avraham was thrown when he was younger by King Nimrod, after he refused to worship Nimrod's idols. Nimrod threw him into the furnace in order to kill him, and God made an open miracle. Avraham walked through completely unscathed. You'd think that that story would be front and center in the Torah. It had to be an important milestone along Avraham's spiritual journey to become the first Jew. And yet, shockingly, the story does not appear in the Torah, except for a brief, oblique reference to it at the end of this week's Parshat. Why isn't this famous story, the open miracle, written in the Torah? Perhaps the reason that God left it out is this. If God had included the story in Torah, we would have thought the following. Before the open miracle, Avram had this theory, this hypothesis. I think there's a God. I'm pretty sure there's a God. It just can't be the sun, the moon, the stars, people. We didn't just appear here through some accident. And then after the miracle, Avram would have had proof of his hypothesis. Now I know there's a God. So by leaving it out, maybe God is teaching us an incredibly important lesson, sharing with us that the actual history is that Avraham's belief in God did not change at all before and after the miracle. Before the miracle, Avram didn't conjecture that there was a God or think it was more probable than not. He knew that God existed. There was no question, no doubt, felt it in his bones. So even after the miracle, didn't make a difference. He knew it all along. The fact that God had not yet shown himself, spoken to Abraham, or done an open miracle, didn't matter. He knew God exists. He's up there, running the world, watching over me. Many years ago, a young rabbi heard a wild story, the story of a coincidence that only God could have made happen. And he excitedly told the story to his rabbi, a very well-known rabbi in Israel. His rabbi responded to him, "Are you trying to introduce to me the novel concept that God runs the world? In other words, this story is wonderful, but why is it any more wonderful or surprising than the fact that the sun's going to rise in the east tomorrow? The same sun that was created when God said, 'Let there be light.' The same sun that the earth orbits around at the perfect distance. Any closer we'd burn, any further away we'd freeze. Everything is incredible because God runs the world." Stories of wild divine providence, incredible coincidences. Can you believe that God did this? Should not be any more surprising than just the daily workings of nature. And so we have to be like Abraham and not suspect that there's a God, not think there's probably a God, and wait for a miracle. Of course, if he would ever reveal himself, talk to me face to face, or show me no miracle, then I would know. No, we have to feel it in our bones and know God's out there. He's up there. He's inside us. He's running the world and watching over us, protecting us every second of the day.